I've heard of Alice in Chains. They are from the 90s, but I mostly listen to Nirvana and Pearl Jam, so I only know Alice in Chains by name. But honestly, I did not know who Layne Staley was until now. Oof. Yeah, no, not a good look. But I am very much aware that Opie and Anthony liked Alice in Chains, so I can't say I blame them for being a bit angry at how some of the media handled his death, and from what I just heard today, it was handled rather poorly. They did include some songs, but I couldn't keep them in for obvious reasons, but the song Don't Follow, it's incredibly sad and haunting, and you shouldn't have an issue finding it on YouTube. Rest in peace, Layne Staley.
And welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. Starting the show a little differently today. I'm bummed, man. Ant's bummed. I know we're both bummed because we've said in many, many interviews that Alice in Chains is one of our favorite bands of all time, and Layne passed away like 2 weeks ago. They're now saying, at first they thought he died like Friday. And now the latest news is that he may have been dead for like 2 weeks in his apartment. 2 weeks. I found out over the weekend, and I got to be honest, I was really, really, really bummed out.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains, one of my faves, and I know Alice in Chains, one of Ant's faves.
Absolutely.
And I got to tell you, man, radio blows. Radio absolutely blows. Because when I found out that Layne Staley died, I immediately started, flipping around the radio to try to get some info, try to get, I don't know, maybe a
little feel for what is going on in radio as far as his death's concerned.
Or maybe just find a place where I can hang a little bit, because I'm a huge Alice in Chains fan,
Yeah.
And the radio didn't do it for me, so then I'm all weekend long, I'm like tuning in MTV like crazy, MTV 2, and all they could give us is like a little scroll at the bottom of the screen. That's it.
Yeah.
For one of the greatest voices of the 90s.
Hell yeah.
In my opinion, the best singer of the 90s, and everyone knows how huge I'm into Nirvana and Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
But I think Layne had even a better voice than Kurt Cobain. And I couldn't get crap from our local rock stations here in New York. Nothing.
No, they milked the hell out of him and the band when they were really on top and putting albums out and stuff. But then, a couple of years goes by, he dies, and they just kind of blow it off or goof on it or something.
Right. I mean, in New York, you could get at least 5 or 6 radio stations that definitely played Alice in Chains a lot. So I'm figuring out of the 5 or 6, someone will do something. Mm-hmm. They didn't do crap.
Yeah.
I heard one station playing Man in the Box a million times and goofing on the fact that he's dead. And that was about it. I remember back when Kurt Cobain died, and pretty much the radio stations just gave up their programming.
Yeah, well,
they
also,
said,
he was at the top of his game when he did it.
Yeah, I guess.
You get a guy like Layne who hung out in misery for a few more years, and people don't pay as much attention.
I just think rock radio in general just missed a great opportunity. You claim to, play all the music of today, and you mix in the Alice in Chains and stuff to have a good radio station out there, and you try to live like, quote, the lifestyle, and then a huge figure of the 90s and the grunge rock scene passes away, and your station has nothing to say. Nothing to say. Just proving that you're really just a jukebox playing, the latest songs that are out there.
Well, they got to get their bands on that the record companies shove on the radio stations. They got to do that. It's all in the programming lists that they got to play and everything. Get those on. Perish the thought you blow off some of that for some Alice in Chains.
And if the best you could do is play Man in the Box over and over again all weekend long and have your DJs goof, you're pretty pathetic as a radio station. Look, man, Ann and I like to goof on everything, and you want to take your shots at Layne Staley and Alice in Chains, go for it, man. We'd be called hypocrites if we didn't allow you to do that. But if you're a radio station and that's all you got, it's pretty pathetic. It's pretty pathetic. Why don't you just admit that you're just a jukebox and you have nothing to offer your listeners when it comes down to it? So we figured we'd start the show today with a Nutshell from Jar of Flies, Anthony.
Very appropriate tune.
Very haunting, very dreary. It's raining here in New York. I'm sure a bunch of people have just killed themselves.
You listen to the words, and you know, you can kind of get a little feel about what was going on in his head.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Real fast. I mean, I'll read the lyrics of the song real fast. We chase misprinted lies. We face the path of time. And yet I fight, this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to call home. My gift of self is raped. My privacy is raked. And yet I find, repeating in my head, if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead.
Well, there you go. The saddest thing is that he went, 3 weeks? Was it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
They're starting to say it could be up to 2 weeks that he's been dead.
How many people do you know that can just lock themselves in somewhere for 2 weeks and no one will notice or bang on the door or call and get worried? Here's a guy that, you know, millions of people bought the albums, listened to the music, enjoyed the hell out of it. And, you know, you fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, and no one even noticed he was gone, missing. Apparently, everyone gave up on this guy. If you wanted it that way, you know, whatever. God bless him. I'm not going to say, you know, intervention. Everyone should have jumped in, knocked the door down. You know, it seems they were fed up with him. They got to the point where they tried it as much as they could. Maybe that's the case. But that's the saddest part is that, you know, here's a guy and 2 weeks go by. There's nobody that should be in a position where weeks can go by and no one will knock on your door.
I was thinking
or call or something.
I was thinking, God forbid, if I was in that situation, I'm thinking, how long would I last before someone would discover? I'd maybe go a weekend.
You think a weekend?
Tops, but by Monday morning, I mean, someone's finding me. Not 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that's, you know, it's just, it kind of lets you in a little more on what he was about. You know, the guy either he chased everyone out of his life to the point where he could die and not be found for 2 weeks, or the other end, maybe the people in his life weren't really friends or family or committed enough to try to help the guy out. I tend to think the guy might have been an asshole to everybody and decided, you know, that he wasn't going to listen to anybody and just figured he wanted to die, and that was it.
Well,
you know?
He was pretty much shot since, like, 93.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of got him together so they could do that unplugged thing back in, 96, I think.
Yeah.
And then he did a version of Another Brick in the Wall, right? Layne did, which was an unbelievable version. But that's pretty much it. For almost 10 years, I mean, he's been useless. But as being a huge Alice in Chains fan, it was always in the back of my head, hey, man, you know, you've heard other bands, you know, get it all together and get their lead singer back. I'm thinking eventually, man, something is going to pop. They're going to be able to, clean them up and get some more albums out.
Yeah.
I always had that hope in the back of my head. But when I found out, I was just so bummed. And then tuning in the radio here in New York, because a lot of stations that we're on are saying, hey, man, like Cleveland, I give props to Cleveland. I guess the station we're on in Cleveland did a full hour of Alice in Chains and taking phone calls and having the jocks talk and stuff. But here in New York, not one station had anything.
Yeah.
And that really bummed me out. Leon from Cleveland wrote this email. We have lots to do on the show today, but this is the way we chose to start today's show. Leon from Cleveland writes, I'm sad. Even though I never met Layne, I feel empty inside. 420 will forever be remembered as a day of sorrow, day of mourning, the day I lost all hope for my favorite band. I always felt that they were finished, but as long as they were alive, I had hope. When I heard the news, it came from a friend who could understand my loss. Layne's death, after a couple days to think about it and let it soak in, all I feel is empty, hollow. Something inside me is missing. The way I listen to his words are and will be changed forever. I feel his pain, his suffering. He was a humble man, a lonely man, a man whose demons were worse than can be imagined. I feel sorry for Layne Staley. He died alone. His own personal demons killed him, very slowly eating him away. They killed him. It took them a decade to finish the job. A much more agonizing death than any gunshot wound. May Layne Staley live forever through his music, his words, and in our hearts. That's Leon.
Yeah, you always hope that something would happen. You know, they get back together and make some more music. You know, that would have been cool.
Right.
Because, you look at some other bands like STP were going that same route for a while, you know? You were going the same route.
Jesus, Scott.
Scott looked like, at one point, everyone was going, okay, Scott's going to be the next. That's it. The guy pulled it together. I guess he had people in his life that are close enough to him that smacked him in the face and said, hey, what are you doing? You know, you got a talent. You got the world by the balls. Let's go out there and make something of it. And he did. It just always seemed like Layne was the kind of guy that was not up for listening to that, or maybe, like I said before, too, didn't have the type of people around him that could have helped him out.
Oh, man, if STP goes away,
yeah, well, no, it seems...
Two out of my 3 favorite bands of the 90s now officially gone.
Scott seems like the kind of guy that, like, pulled it together. You know, Ben was just saying he saw him over the weekend with his kids and with his kid and his wife and everything. His wife's pregnant again?
Yeah, Ben pretty much ate lunch with Scott.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, actually. No, he looks great. It was wild seeing him. He's like a real father, like, you know, feeding his kid and, like, he's not like the rock star. And, like, it was wild watching Scott Weiland put together his kid's stroller and stuff.
Some people just need that kick in the ass, I guess, from, you know, they can kind of look at themselves and look at what the reality of something is and go, all right, look, it was fun or miserable when it lasted or whatever, as far as doing drugs is concerned. And then you go, okay, I got stuff to do now. You know, I can't be doing the dope. And they can stop.
There was actually a pretty prominent rock manager of a pretty prominent band out of Boston that tried to get him.
Tim Collins.
Yeah, tried to get them back
who
on
hates
track.
Anthony and I.
Yeah.
He tried to get them back on track, I remember, way back when.
Really?
It just never happened.
Aerosmith's another good example of a drugged out band that was able to just pull it back together again. And they were completely on the brink. They should have been dead. Those guys should have been dead. What happened?
What happened? All right, let's go to the phones real fast here. James, what's going on, man?
Oh, what's going on, O&A?
Hey.
Well, let me start off by thanking you guys. That was the best I've heard for him all weekend. I mean, these radio stations in New York suck, man. You guys will always have ratings for your radio station from the beginning of the day to the end, because I won't listen to anything else in New York anymore.
Well, that's up to you. I'm just talking from personal experience.
To not give this guy the respect he's deserved, though. I mean, he made, like, between them and Nirvana, they made music in the 90s. They were music in the 90s. And now, 10 years later, to not give this guy the respect he deserves so much, I mean, it's a travesty.
You know, it wasn't important to the rock stations in New York, so I said, all right, screw you guys. I got a 6 CD changer in my car, and I filled it up with Alice in Chains CDs, and I rocked all weekend.
Right there, O&A. Thank you very much.
All right, man.
Peace, guys.
And they wonder why people are deserting radio in droves. Figure it out. Yeah. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, man, I just got to agree with you guys. I mean, I tried MTV, VH1, all these places, and they just had nothing. And this band, I mean, talk about Nirvana or Pearl Jam coming out of the 90s, but every band that you hear come out today, it's Alice in Chains. Every band sounds like Alice in Chains.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Very influential.
Yeah, let's go to Jose. Jose, what's up?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing? Yeah, you know, a certain radio station in New York was too busy promoting the Korn album.
You know, and they did that to try to shove it up Ant and I's you-know-whats.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, douches. We broke the Korn album. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And then they got promos all weekend. Hey, it's the world exclusive of all the tracks from the new Korn. Shut up.
Yeah, right? They never performed here radio.
They're so obsessed with us. Instead of doing the right thing and maybe doing something on Alice in Chains, they're too busy trying to shove it up our butts over here. Whatever, dude. All right, Jose, thanks.
All right, you guys suck.
Bye.
Bye.
We got lots to do today. We're almost done with this, and we'll move on. We got a new affiliate to say hi to today,
Yes,
Anthony.
we do.
Nicole, what's going on? Nicole!
Hello.
3, 2, 1. Nicole, anything?
Who, you're Linda Blair now, counting down to when you're hanging up, Opie?
Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, John.
I just wanted to, say what the other guys were saying. Thanks for, spending a couple minutes doing this. No one else has. And, it sucks that I got to put on my 6-disc player, all Alice in Chains, but, sometimes you just got to mourn by yourself, I guess.
There you go.
Usually,
All right, John. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Well, time doesn't have to stop. We're not going to get crazy like that. But if you're a station that was treated very well by the product that the man put out, maybe you ought to, give a little back now that the guy's dead.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad.
I wasn't asking for much, being a rock listener.
A little
Anthony.
info, a little moment to listen to a cool couple of tunes from the band and kind of think, that's all. Kind of puts you in a time and place.
I sat through MTV for like 12 hours. I rarely turn it on. I'll go to MTV, too, to get a video or two, But I know top of the hour they do the MTV news and stuff. I'm like, all right, they're going to have something for me. They had nothing.
Yeah.
Matt, what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, bro.
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
Yo, I just wanted to say, man, it just goes to show what effing tools the guys are that the DJs are.
that are putting out the music today. I mean, these guys liked Alice in Chains just as much as we all did, but they can't put a friggin' song on now and again. I don't understand it, man.
All right, Matt.
Everybody's selling out, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
they don't know how to service their listeners. It's pretty pathetic.
not selling out, son. I bought in.
Fred, what's going on?
Yo, guys.
Hey.
What a great tribute song that you chose. You would think at least his drug dealer would have known he was gone for 2 weeks. How can you just...
Yeah, you know something? The guy, all right, he's making a joke, but that's a good point.
It's not a
he's a
joke.
drug dealer.
I'm sure the guy was making a living off
You know
of
what?
it.
Maybe
Yeah.
the drug dealer did know, but I mean, if you're a drug dealer, you're going to go run to the cops and say, hey,
that's
one of my
true.
best customers is dead in that apartment over there.
I'm sure he was calling more than once every 2 weeks, too. I mean, I never even got to see these guys live. It truly is a letdown, and it really hurts.
Two of my favorite bands I never got to see, by the way.
Can I just praise...
Never
Garrett?
saw Nirvana and never saw Alice in Chains.
And you never will.
Me neither. Can I praise Awesome Garrett for a second?
Yeah.
I was at the Norton show. None of you guys can reach the first balcony with those damn T-shirts except for Awesome Gary.
Hey,
Threw it right up to us.
stop it. I threw one right up there. I don't even want to
Oh,
hear it. I always go long.
They might have had the appearance they did, but they fluttered in the wind.
No, they
Garrett
didn't.
got it right up to
Fred,
us.
I would bet money
douchebag.
that I got one up there.
Nothing reached except for his. I was up there. I was in the first row in the balcony.
Well, you know something? You didn't see then because I make a point, you son of a bitch. I make a point when there's a balcony of tying a couple real tight, and I throw them and watch them land up there. And I landed at least two over to the right of the balcony. If you're standing on the
Halfway, then it
stage,
took off like a kite.
it was to my
Halfway, then
right.
it flooded down like
Shut
a
up,
and
Fred, you
Garrett put
dickbag.
it right
I
up
know
there.
I hit the balcony.
Awesome
You
Garrett
lying
put it right
sack.
up there.
You
And might I
lying
add,
sack.
I did nothing.
All right.
Bastard. I always hit the balconies.
Jackie, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's a sad day.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into Alice in Chains, other people I'm sure are listening right now going, whatever, dudes.
Well, I just
Sorry, maybe
I had
if
another
Barry
pathetic
Manilow
song.
died, they'd be upset.
Right.
I don't know.
What were you saying?
I have another prophetic song from Jar of Flies.
Yes?
It's called Don't Follow.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And my boyfriend from college, his brother actually killed himself to that song.
Oh, really?
Ugh.
It's completely depressing. It's all about like alcohol addiction and everything like that, and it's very sad.
Yes.
All right, well,
So,
morbid little
I thank
tune.
you guys for acknowledging it. It means a lot.
all right, cool, Jackie.
Thanks.
You know what? What the hell? We'll play Don't Follow. And we'll get into the Opie and Anthony show for today, okay?
Yeah.
We got big news out of Philly, and we say hi to a brand new city next. But first, it's Alice in Chains. One more here. Don't Follow. On the Opie and Anthony show.